Hatsune Miku Project Diva Megamix Plus is the newest iteration of the Project Diva franchise and the very first release of the slotted Sega series onto the PC via Steam. In this review, I will try to explain to fans of the series the differences between this title and the ones before it, and showcase perhaps completely a new audience on PC who simply were not able to purchase these games in the past, what makes the Project Diva series so good. First and foremost, Sega dropped this game kind of out of nowhere with very little fanfare, but if the Switch release of Megamix and the subsequent DLC drops were any indication, this is pretty much part of the new norm. Megamix originally launched on the Nintendo Switch about 2 years ago now in Japan, and in it you were privy to about 110 songs in the base version of the game, and another 60 songs via the 12 or so DLC packs that dropped after launch. The overwhelming majority of those songs were entries that were already available in the previous release, called Hatsune Miku Project Diva Future Tone DX, which was a PlayStation 4 game, and a little bit of a double pack release. Sega loves splitting these games and letting you a la carte pick which packs you want for the songs that you desire. All in all, Future Tone DX was revered as almost the complete package of the Project Diva series back when it launched on PS4 in 2016. Many years later, the Megamix Switch version dropped and quite a few of the songs were missing, and even all of the subsequent DLC packs did not bring all of the songs into the fold. That's where Megamix Plus comes in. This title, and once again the very first one on PC, is not only including all of the base version of Megamix on the Nintendo Switch, but also all of the previously available DLC, which would put the song count to near about 170 or so. However, this time around, the extra 70 plus tracks that were not available for the Switch, that were only ever available on Future Tone DX and in some of the arcade games in the past, have now made it into Megamix Plus with a little bit of a catch. Essentially, Megamix Plus will cost you $39.99, this is US dollars, at the time of launch, and you get all of the Switch experience complete, and of course, higher resolutions and 60 frames locked. However, Sega is selling an add-on DLC pack called Extra Songs Pack, including the 70 missing songs that were not available on the Nintendo Switch from Future Tone DX back on PS4, at a whopping $35 more than the standalone game. They do, however, try to fix this by supplementing it by making available a $60 bundle that gets you Megamix Plus and all of the extra songs together, so you get the entire thing and not miss anything. This is the version that would actually suggest if you decide to pick it up at all and have all the songs from Megamix and Future Tone DX with the added bonus of having all accessories unlocked from the start, which is actually another separate purchase, but Sega actually decided to actually put it into the $60 bundle, so that's beneficial in that regard. Weird pricing structures aside, Megamix Plus on PC also had another neat bonus under its sleeve, and that's the fact that you can switch the visual options and toggle between the look of Future Tone DX, which gave the characters a more dull look like back from the arcades, and the more cel-shaded version from Megamix on the Nintendo Switch. Some people basically expressed displeasures in both in the past, so this time around you can choose whichever one you want and there's no problems at all. I will mention, however, that there are some of the songs that you won't have the option to toggle actively at all for very obvious reasons. Those songs were designed with a very specific visual design originally. Some will always display with the cel-shaded look, and some will have the dull-like feature styles from Future Tone DX. That's just pretty much the way they were. Don't worry though, there's not that many songs to begin with that have this limited option, so you shouldn't necessarily be too concerned about it, but I did certainly want to mention that for sure. Of course, that on top of the 60 frames per second, you have plenty of resolution toggles and visual PC-centric options to turn off and on however you desire. Do be mindful that the game is locked at 60 frames per second and not 120 for some weird reason. Perhaps the engine is actually locked at 60 frames, but I'm sure that modders will get working on this pretty much as I speak. This is another bonus for the PC release, the fact that people will simply add the entire songs and note charts to this game that will basically make it added like a complete experience, better than pretty much any of the console versions at all. adding more of like the old PSP games, songs that were never actually made available to any one of the consoles, adding some of the Mirai songs from the 3DS, which those entries never made it anywhere else. Like Electric Love is one of the great songs from like the Miku Project Diva series that simply stuck on the 3DS. So hopefully those songs are now finally going to be added in on the PC version, because modders are just going to mod and they're going to add things in for sure. So that basically covers all the differences that you can expect. Newcomers to this entry should know that on top of this being a rhythm game with Vocaloids, it's one of the best arcade games to ever come out on console, because it's just adding so many options. Like the option to plug in a DualSense controller on PC is one of my favorite controllers now, and I could just basically plug it in and have no issues whatsoever. I also tried my Series X controller and I had no issues at all, and you also have the option to have like Rumble enabled, so right out of the gate, no issues whatsoever. Notes will also display on screen that you can actually toggle to any one of the styles you want. So you can choose to have the PlayStation format, which is the circle, the square, triangle, and cross. You can also do the Nintendo Switch letters, and you can even do the Dance Dance Revolution arrows, which is my preferred style to play as. There's certainly beauty in the simplicity and the quality of life changes that Megamix on the Nintendo Switch saw, and they all carry over into Megamix Plus onto the Nintendo Switch. All of the difficulty options are also there, where you can start off as easy and basically move over to normal, which is, I would say, the most base version of the game, like difficulty wise. Then you can move over to hard, which that's where you actually start to begin to unlock difficulty levels going forward, where essentially after you finish a song, you can then do the extreme version, and then once you complete an extreme version, you can unlock the extra extreme version as well. So you should definitely have plenty of options there. Newcomers should also know that the difficulty is basically a guideline. The real thing here is the stars are the real markers for difficulty. A song at 5 stars, for example, is rather entry level, where 8 stars is advanced and 10 stars is basically God mode. So don't necessarily feel too bad if you can't get past a certain star level, where players like myself, who have been playing for years since like the PSP days, I still struggle with like 9 to 10 star songs. That's just kind of like the nature of it. Hatsune Miku Project Diva Megamix Plus is a surprise release, but one that fans of the series will have mixed reactions with. Just about all you could expect here is actually there, but that's about it. There's very little extra bells and whistles for those who have been playing these games for a long time, and the pricing structure once again leaves a bad taste in your mouth. But for newcomers, this is basically a fantastic value proposition and an easy recommendation. Nintendo Sphere gives Hatsune Miku Project Diva Megamix Plus on the PC and on Steam an 8 out of 10. If you're new to my channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, hit the bell to receive notifications when the videos go up, and as always, thank you so much for watching. See ya!